Tackle Junkies, what's going on, everyone? Really appreciate you guys and gals clicking on the video. Hopefully you guys had a great Christmas and a happy New Year. In one of my last live streams, we were talking about the Bomber Square A. You guys ask me pretty often what's my favorite crankbait. Are there any special modifications that I do to it? And I've made videos on this in the past, but a few of you guys had asked for an updated video. So we're going to cover, really why I like the Bomber Square A so much, the few modifications that I do to it, the rod and reel that I use to toss it, plus we're going to talk about, can you put on a treble hook backwards? Take a good look at that box of crankbaits. What do you notice? Well, if you look close, you only have two different crankbaits in that whole box. The top two rows, KVD 1.5, bottom two rows, the Bomber Square A, and that's in 3/8 ounce. I do not throw the 1/4 ounce from Bomber, only the 3/8. We'll do a quick little size comparison here. I do have a couple 1.0s in here from Strike King. That'll be a good comparison here. And if you compare them side by side, they're dang near the same length, but that Bomber is much thicker, more rounded. You can see that. Just a bigger profile altogether compared to the 1.0. If you compare it to a 1.5, of course the 1.5 has it on length, but to be honest, that Bomber is still a bigger crankbait. Okay? But like I said, the 1.5 is a bit longer. All right? But what is it about this bait that consistently catches bigger bass? Now, here's my thought process on this, okay? Most baits these days are super expensive, right? And we don't want to throw them where possibly we might lose them. This bait comes in at $4, and you guys can pick them up over there at LureNet using code TJ81, which will save you guys an additional 15% off. But for one, the price of this bait, I don't mind throwing it where I shouldn't because I'm only breaking off $4 versus 10, 15, 20 bucks per crankbait. So that has something to do with it. But the size of this bait, for one, the body being thicker how it is, it's very buoyant. So between the size of the bait, how buoyant the bait is, and the smaller hooks, it just comes through cover much better than your standard size crankbait with bigger hooks. You're going to get snagged up much more or more often with a bigger crankbait versus the Bomber. Like I said, and being buoyant, it just comes out of snags really well. Listen to this. That noise, I've always done really well with a one knocker type rattle. So you combine that rattle with a bait that can get through that cover, I mean, it just calls in the big girls. So that's kind of my thought process on this little bait. I mean, it's just kind of funny with all the crankbaits that I have. This one here, the cheapest one that I own, consistently catches more and bigger bass. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the few modifications that I do to it to make it a fish catching machine. Now you'll see here, this one here I've already messed with. Let's get a new one here out of the package. So here's a brand new one here, okay? You'll see there, the line tie, get that to focus, the line tie is round. Okay, and I do have a video round versus oval, but in a nutshell, guys, in a nutshell, with that oval, there is no way to tie in the split because the split is on the long side, okay? You have the short ends and you got the sides. When you run your line through an oval, you let your lure hang and you're tying your knot, just with the weight of the lure and how it hangs on an oval, the short end is what you're tying to. There's no way to tie in the split with an oval split ring. With a round, run your line through the eye, obviously you start to tie your knot and you kind of have to rotate that split ring to make sure you don't tie in the split. That's really the main reason for me. I keep it that simple. Round versus oval, I don't want to tie in that split. With the oval, that can't happen. I know some guys say you might have a different action from one to the other. I haven't noticed that. The only reason I go to the oval is so I don't tie in the split. Very simple to take off the split ring here. This is a Texas Tackle split ring pliers. They do come in a few different colors. You want the orange handle split ring pliers here. Okay, that'd be for your bass tackle. So go to your split ring there, and you want to find the split and go back about 1/4 of an inch, and you want to be right by the eye there. So you pinch it and you just rotate it off. It's no different than like a key ring, okay? So taking off the round, and we want an oval. Now I use these are the Bass Pro Shops. I think they're called Bass Pro Shops XPS series, size 2. I made a video on these a while back. That video did really well, and ever since that video, I can't find a number size 2 in stock. You guys bought them all up, and you continue to buy them because every other size is always in stock but size 2, and I never had a problem getting them before that video. But keep in mind, if you want to try a different brand, and I do have a video on this as well, which I'll link down below, you know, one company size 2 is not the same as another company size 2. I got a box here of all sorts of different things in here, and I mentioned it in one of these videos. Like here's a size 1. I take that back. This is a size 2. This is a size 2 owner, which I'm sure it's hard for you guys to see. It's a size 2 owner oval, but it's more like a size 1. So if I'm going to buy a oval split ring in the owner, and I want this size, most likely I'm going to have to go to a 3. So just keep in mind that one company size 2 is not the same size as the next. Like I said, these size 2 owners are more like a size 1. So anyways, these ones here, I have a ton of confidence in. I've been using these for years. They're super strong, and the main thing about them is that wire, it closes back up. That's something very important, no matter if you're switching out an oval or a round. Once you pinch it and open it up, you want to make sure that wire closes back up. If it doesn't, I toss them and get a new one. So keep that in mind. Let's grab one here though. Again, this is the Bass Pro Shops size 2 oval split ring. Okay, and like I said, the split is on the side, but what you'll do is you'll go to the top here, or the short end. I can grab it here. Go to the short end, like so, and just squeeze it and open it up. If you guys can even see that, it's pretty small. I'm not sure that'll even focus. Okay, open her up, and then you can just rotate her on. Okay, and just make sure once you rotate it on, just make sure that it's closed back up. Okay, and you guys can see there, we're on, we're closed up, we are good to go. Okay, now for the hooks. Most of the time, all I do is change out hooks. I don't mess with split rings. I know some guys believe in swapping out all split rings and all hooks, but hardware these days on crankbaits are solid. Even the hardware on this $4 bait, I've never had a problem with, you know, losing fish or my split ring straightening out or anything like that. What I'm doing here is upgrading it for a purpose, but like I said, fishing with it stock, you shouldn't have an issue. But that being said, these particular hooks here, because of where I like to throw these baits, they're a bit thin. So I like to upgrade them to the Mustad triple grips, okay? Now, these are probably size 6s on here, okay? But like I said, it's a thinner wire hook, and it's a standard shank. They could be 8, but I'm gonna say they're size 6. But you'll see here, when you rotate the hooks around, they do not tangle, okay? And you know what happens when you upsize your hooks and you don't pay attention and you put too big a hook on, you make a cast. Let's say you make the perfect cast, what happens? That's when the hooks decide to tangle, and you want to avoid that. So you always want to put on the biggest hook possible before they tangle. And they did real good here. Like I said, these do not tangle. Moving them back and forth, they do not tangle, okay? But I want to add the triple grips on here, size 6, short shanks, and you guys can use code TJ81 over there at Mustad to save 20%. This is a little Flambeau box here. Love this box for all my treble hooks. I'm going to actually swap it out though to a Plano edge, just because this one here is not waterproof. There's no seal on it. I got a lot of money in treble hooks here, so I want to make sure I got the right box. But here's a little size 6 here. Compartment of triple grips. Now you can use round bends, but I do like the triple grip style, which is like an EWG style hook. If you guys see that there, you can use round bends, but like I said, when they're chewing, when they're eating, this hook just locks on. If they're kind of sluggish, if they're just kind of slapping at it, you may want to go with a round bend, just because those hook points are tipped. I guess they're not really tipped. The hook points are in line with the eye there. So they're opened up a bit more than the EWG style here. So you have a better chance if they slap at it to hook up with a round bend. But I still prefer, majority of the time, this EWG triple grip style here, just because when they're chewing, man, this hook, it keeps them pinned. So like I said, I really do like this particular hook. But if you compare it to the stock hook on the Bomber, I mean, it's just a hair longer, okay? And if I were to put these on, these stock split rings here, what's gonna happen? These number 6s are going to tangle. For that reason only is why I'm swapping out these split rings, okay? Now you never wanna go too small. If you go too small, you kind of lose the rotation there, and that's what's going to cause you to lose fish. So when you're hooked up there, if these can't really move at all, it's gonna kind of cause it to tear out. So you still want some play there with your split rings. I even believe they even make some crankbaits that actually swivel. They actually have a swivel there. But it's for that reason. You don't want these to lock up just because, like I said, they will tear out much easier. So what we're going to do here is take off this split ring. So find the split, go back about a 1/4 inch or so, open it up, and rotate it off. Okay? Do the back one here. Same deal. And really, guys, this is the only crankbait that I think that I do this on. Everything else, the bodies are bigger, so I don't need to downsize my split rings to be able to put on bigger hooks. So like I said, keep in mind, I don't do this with every bait. This is the only bait that I do that to and downsize my split rings. Again, don't go too small. You don't want to risk tearing out. Actually, here are the split rings that I use for the hooks. I only have actually 2 left, so looks like I need to reorder these, so we do have enough for the video here. And I use size 2, the Owner Hyperwire split rings. I've been using these for many, many years. You guys can look way back in the videos. This is the split ring that I use here for my hooks, okay? Oval split ring from Bass Pro Shops for the line tie, but for my hooks, I use the Owners, okay? So here they are here. Same deal. You're going to find the split. Find the split, go back about a 1/4 inch, open it up, and put her on there. Like I said, always double check just to make sure that split ring closes up. If it doesn't, take it off, get a new one. That hook will work its way off that split ring, or the split ring will work its way off the bait. So what are you gonna lose? If you have a fish on there, you're going to lose the fish, you're gonna lose your hook, you're gonna lose your split ring. So make sure that that split ring closes back up. Open her up and slide her back on like so. Okay, and I do have another video which I'll link down below on swapping split rings and hooks. This one might not be in view and all that. I believe it is, but sometimes it doesn't want to focus. But you guys should be able to see that pretty well. Okay, so anyways, our size 6 short shank hooks here. Now, before I put these on here, I've had a couple guys contact me about this because I've seen other videos where guys are saying you can put a treble hook on backwards. And that may be the case, and I can only think of really one hook in particular, it's from Owner, to where you can do that on. And that's because the distance between each hook point is different on that particular hook. But with these mustads here, it's the same distance from point to point all the way around the hook. And you can only put it on 2 ways, from this side or from this side. And how we can tell the difference between the 2 sides, if you look at this side here, you might be able to pick that up here. You can see this one hook point is welded on this side. This side is flat, okay? This side has that little extra welded point there, okay? So that'll be the one side, here's the other side, however you want to look at it. Okay, so we'll put one on. I'll show you how the hook should lay against the body, and we'll go from there. So find your split, go back about a 1/4 inch or so, open her up. We're going to go on from that welded point side first, like so. Rotate it on. Okay, this one is on the rear, you can see. Okay, and here's how you tell if the hook is on correct. Like I said, with these hooks here, there's no way to put them on backwards. But you just want the hook to lay against the body, Okay, and if it lays like that, if the hook points straddle the belly, the hook is on correct. Okay, if it's like this, if there's one point on the belly like that, it would be on backwards. But like I said, with this particular hook, there's no way to do that backwards. Okay, let's grab the other split ring here. The other split ring here, like so. Grab the hook. We're going to go from the other side, the smooth side there. Okay, rotate it on. Like so. And you'll see here, you can move it all around however you want to do it. Just make sure everything's laying nice and loose how it should. And you'll see that hook there straddles the belly. Okay, that hook is on correct. So it doesn't matter which way I put it on. Even if we can take this one off here, as we're doing the same one. This one we went on the smooth side. So what we'll do is take this one off. Okay, take it off, open up the split ring one more time, and we'll go to the point side, where you can see that point is welded on there like that. Okay, put her on. Like so, and you'll see that hook straddles the belly. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way you put that treble hook on these particular treble hooks, but you cannot put them on wrong or backwards. There's only one way to do it. Either way you do it, it turns out the same. As long as your hook straddles the belly, you're good to go. Let's go ahead and grab a KVD 1.5 here. Show you guys. This is a size 4 mustache triple grip. Again, straddles the belly. That hook is on correct. Like I said, guys, the only one that I know of that you can put on backwards, and I don't know the model number of that hook, but it's from Owner. And like I said, there's a different distance between the hook points, so you have to make sure that it straddles the belly like that. You don't want to put it on this way. Okay? So anyways, guys, that is why I make these few little mods of this bait. I mean, this bait truly is a fish catcher, but like I said, I throw it where I shouldn't, so I want a bit stronger hardware on this bait. So I downsize the split ring to be able to get that bit beefier hook on there. I like the oval line tie, that way I don't have to worry about tying in the split. And that there is a fish catching machine. So before we close out the video, I want to show you guys one of my cranking combos. This particular rod here is the Akuma EVX. It's a medium heavy power with a moderate fast action. Now most guys you hear use a medium power rod, but I like a bit more backbone in my rod, so I go with a medium heavy. The most important thing is to have a nice soft action. So either a straight moderate or a moderate fast. And this one here is a moderate fast. You know, that softer tip just allows the fish to get the bait, kind of acts like a delay, but it also keeps the fish pinned. You know, when you're going to lose a crankbait fish, most likely is when your rod unloads. And if you have too stiff a tip, good chance those small little treble hooks are going to tear out. So that nice soft action just allows the rod to load up much easier and less stress is put on the hooks versus a faster action rod. So if a fish is coming up, it jumps, that rod unloads. Like I said, if that rod is too stiff, and let's say she's barely hooked, she has to put more pressure on those hook points because that rod is too stiff to get it to load back up when the fish goes back down. So a softer action rod will keep the fish pinned. So anyways, medium heavy with a moderate fast action to keep all my crankbaits in the Calco's Fishing Bait Sack. Code TJ81 will save you guys 15% over there. The reel, make sure you have a slower reel. Years ago, I used to throw nothing but a 5-speed while I was cranking and throwing spinner baits. I did move it up to a 6-speed, but I tried to pay attention as to how fast I'm reeling because you can overwork them and reel them too fast very easy. So just pay attention to how fast you're reeling. Again, for me, I'm pretty good with a 6-speed. This particular reel is a 6.8. It's a bit on the fast side. I'd prefer like a 6.3, 6.4, 6.6. But like I said, just pay attention to how fast you're reeling. This particular reel here is a Concept Z2. I have a review on this reel, which I'll link down below. Definitely check it out. As far as line goes, for fluorocarbon, I like anywhere from 12 to 17-pound test, but I will even go to like a 20-pound test, a bigger diameter mono, if I'm trying to keep my baits extra shallow. But for the most part, I'm throwing 12 to 17 pound Seaguar in VizX. Well guys, that should wrap it up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Do yourself a favor, head over there to LureNet, pick yourself up a couple of the Bomber Square A. Love you guys. If you guys liked the video, be sure to smash the thumbs up. We'll see you guys on the next one.